This queen was actually the same Princess Kamla whom Malini had been searching for. When Malini reached there, she recognized her at first sight. Malini told Queen Kamla the same heartbreaking story that she had told the fisherman. Then she said to the queen, "Please give me a small place to stay in the palace. I will serve you faithfully." Queen Kamla spoke to her husband Arjun, and when he agreed, she allowed Malini to stay with them. Malini began living in the palace. A month passed and she noticed something very strange. She never had to do any work. In fact, none of the servants in the palace worked either. Every task seemed to be completed all by itself.
Every part of the palace remained spotless and shining. Whenever it was time to eat, delicious meals would appear on their own. Whenever Arjun was away from home, Malini would sit with Queen Kamla for hours and talk to her. Very cleverly, she kept asking the queen questions. Who does all the household work? Who brings things from the market? Who washes the dishes? And who cooks the food? Somehow, Malini wanted to make the queen reveal the secret. But the truth was that Queen Kamla herself knew nothing about it. She had no idea about the magical mirror. Every time, she would simply reply, "My husband knows about these things. I do not." Malini would then speak cunningly, "My queen, you are his wife, and yet he does not even tell you who does the household work? I find it very surprising that you. What kind of wife are you? And how much can he truly love you if he hides such a great secret from you? It is your right to know this secret." Malini constantly filled her mind with such thoughts. Queen Kamla was very innocent and simple-hearted. Slowly, she fell into Malini's trap and became restless with curiosity. One night, finding the perfect opportunity, she asked her husband, "I should also know who does all the work in this palace. What kind of husband are you if you cannot even share your heart's secrets with your wife?" Arjun did not avoid his wife's question. Happily, he revealed the secret of the magical mirror to her. Queen Kamla took the mirror in her hands. Whenever she looked into it for amusement, a fairy would appear and ask, "What are your orders, your majesty?" Just for entertainment, Queen Kamla would send the fairy here and there, and she remained delighted by the magic. The next day, while Arjun had gone out for his usual walk and Malini was sitting beside Queen Kamla, the queen told her the entire story of the magical mirror. Very cleverly, Malini also found out where the mirror was kept and how it was used. The moment she got the chance, Malini stole the magical mirror and summoned the fairy. As soon as the fairy appeared, she said, "What are your orders, old woman?" Malini immediately replied, "Take me and the princess back to the king's palace." In a single moment, both of them were transported to the king's palace. Then Malini summoned the fairy from the mirror once again and ordered, "Turn the magical palace into a heap of ashes." At that very instant, Arjun's magical palace was reduced to ashes. At that time, Arjun had gone out for a walk. When he returned in the afternoon, neither the palace nor Princess Kamla was there, only a pile of ashes remained. He sat down in despair, holding his head in grief. What should I do now? Before leaving for her father's palace, Princess Kamla had thrown a piece of raw meat in front of the magical palace cat, Rani. So when the palace burned into ashes, the cat somehow survived.
Now the cat was wandering around, searching for that piece of meat. Arjun also began searching for it along with Rani the cat. Soon they found the piece of meat. Arjun divided it into two parts. He threw one piece in front of Rani the cat and kept the other in his pocket. Now that small piece of meat was the only remaining memory of Princess Kamla. Carrying it in his pocket, Arjun set out in search of her. He kept traveling without stopping. Mountains, plains, rivers, streams, seas and oceans. Nothing could stand in the way of his determination. He simply kept moving forward. At last, one day, he reached the kingdom where Princess Kamla's father was the king. Arjun went straight to the royal palace and asked for work in the royal kitchen. By chance, the kitchen needed a helper to wash dishes, so Arjun was given the job. Now, somehow or another, he constantly searched for an opportunity to meet Princess Kamla. He stayed a lot all the time. He had already learned that the princess had returned to the palace. One day, suddenly the old royal kitchen chef, Vikram, fell ill. Arjun said to him, "Elder brother, you just rest. Today I will prepare all the food and serve it in the plates." The old Vikram agreed. Arjun prepared the food according to the royal chef's recipe and also placed that small piece of meat in Princess Kamla's plate, which he had brought from the magical palace. Meanwhile, Princess Kamla was also very sad and restless due to her separation from her husband. She kept thinking all the time about how she could find Arjun. With the passage of time, her hope was slowly fading. When she saw that same piece of meat in her plate, at first she was surprised. Then her heart started beating with joy. She immediately realized that her husband was in the same palace and now meeting him was not far away. Princess Kamla quickly called the cook and praised his food greatly. Then she asked, "Has any new man been hired in the kitchen? Because the food has become much better than before." Vikram joined his hands and said, "Princess, I am old and sick. Today I could not work, so I made my young assistant cook the food. This young man was hired only a few days ago. He is a very good boy, poor fellow." The princess said, "Elder brother, you may go. Your health is not well. Send my tea through the same young man."
After a long separation, when the husband and wife finally met again, their happiness knew no bounds. Princess Kamla told her husband every single incident, and he also narrated his entire story in detail. Now both of them discussed how they could somehow obtain the magical mirror so that they could live happily again in the palace. But the magical mirror was in Malini's possession, and she always stayed in the palace with the princess. Malini recognized Arjun the moment she saw him, because he was the one who now used to bring food and tea for the princess. Malini called the fairy of the mirror and ordered her to send Arjun back to his burnt palace. In the very next moment, Arjun was sitting on a pile of ashes. Now only his cat Rani was with him. Both became companions to each other. Now listen to the story of the cat Rani. When the palace was burned to ashes and Arjun had also left, Rani the cat became hungry. Forced by circumstances, she started catching and eating mice. When Arjun returned, the situation had become very bad. So bad that the army of the Mouse King Chiku was almost destroyed. One by one, Rani the cat had eaten all the soldiers of his army.
When the king of mice, Chiku, learned that the king of humans had returned to his kingdom, he thought it would be better to go to him for justice. He went to Arjun and, squeaking, said, "For God's sake, please help me. If your cat keeps killing mice like this, I will be completely ruined." Arjun replied, "I will remove the cat from here, but who will remove my sorrow?" The mouse asked, "Tell me, what is your sorrow? Maybe I can be of some help." Upon this, Arjun narrated the entire story from beginning to end: the magical mirror, Princess Kamla and the palace, and finally Malini's clever scheme. The Mouse King Chiku shook his tail and said, squeaking, "So that is the matter. You save my remaining soldiers from your cat, and I will send my mice to bring back the magical mirror." After meeting Arjun, King Chiku called all his mice and ordered that those mice should come forward, who often go to the royal palace. When those mice came forward, he asked, "Which mouse knows Malini?" A lame mouse named Tanu stepped forward and said, "Your Majesty, I often go into that evil woman's room in search of food. I have often seen the magical mirror in her hands. I will find out where she keeps that mirror." The king ordered, "You go there immediately and find out about the mirror. Whatever it takes, bring it back from there." Tana kissed his king's feet and said, "Your Majesty, your command is on my head, but please send some mice with me so they can help me in difficult times." The king of mice agreed to his request. The lame mouse Tana rode on the back of another mouse, and the rest of the mice followed him. Traveling far, crossing 7 seas, they reached the land where Malini lived. First, they entered the royal palace, then quietly slipped into Malini's room. It was dinner time. The cunning woman was busy eating her meal. The mice silently waited for Malini to fall asleep and carefully observed her every movement. Soon they discovered that the magical mirror was placed under the pillow. Before sitting on the bed, Malini had kept glancing at the mirror again and again, but sleep was now overpowering her. Finally, she placed her head on the pillow, closed her eyes, and began snoring loudly. Hearing her snores, the mice became certain that she was asleep. 3 mice immediately jumped and crawled into the bed. The lame mouse Tanu twisted his tail into Malini's nose, making her start sneezing. The other 2 mice, who were very quick in their work, immediately moved forward. As soon as Malini lifted her head to sneeze, they swiftly pulled the magical mirror from under the pillow. The mice took the mirror and reached their king, Chiku. The king became very happy and, as promised, returned the mirror to Arjun. Arjun thanked him and moved forward with his cat Rani. After going some distance, he took out the mirror and called the fairy. The fairy appeared at once and bowed, saying, "What is your command, my prince?" Arjun said, "Bring me splendid clothes, a beautiful horse, and a large army." After a short while, he was dressed in royal attire and began marching toward the king's city with a large army behind him. When the king heard about Arjun's glory, power, and the strength of his army, he finally agreed to marry his daughter to him. Young Arjun and Princess Kamla were married with great celebration and grandeur. The entire kingdom was decorated with lights, and thousands of guests were invited. Now listen about Malini. Arjun called the fairy of the mirror and ordered that Malini be given a severe punishment for her actions. In that very moment, Malini disappeared from the palace and was never seen again. Arjun and Kamla rebuilt their beautiful palace with the help of the magical mirror. The husband and wife began living happily in their palace. Arjun invited the Mouse King Chiku to his palace and gave him many gifts. He also promised that from now on, Rani the cat would never harm any mice again. The Mouse King Chiku, happy and satisfied, returned to his kingdom. Arjun and Kamla continued to use the magical mirror only for good deeds. They helped the poor, built schools and hospitals, and brought happiness to everyone. And thus, Arjun, Princess Kamla, and their cat Rani lived a happy and peaceful life together.